next module, which is going to talk about the tools or what you're going to use to create the materials for your brand. So if you have the time, please make sure that you watch the previous module, which talks about the brand. Now, when you have the solid brand and you've established your brand, it's very effective when you create your materials because you have this foundation or an anchor where you draw your inspiration from, where you draw your messaging from. So when you have your brand established, it's going to be easy to make sure that all of the materials will go somewhere and it will have a purpose in your marketing strategy. So it's a holistic manner that we want to market our business. That's the practical way of doing it. But you can only make sure that everything is in line if you start with your brand. And then now we're going to talk about what types of content you can create and how you're going to create it. So we have so many things to talk about, but since we're just talking about basic in this course, I want to try and trim it down a little and make it simple for everyone. So when we talk about content creation, there's so many things we can do. But for this course, we're just going to focus on social media, which is going to be the next lesson. And then for email marketing, which is going to be the last lesson in this module. But first, before we go through the social media content and email marketing content, I want to personally share with you a basic thing that we know in marketing. So when we talk about content creation, I specifically share this with my student. I simplify it to 3 P's. There's so many other P's and there's so many other terminologies that we can talk about when we share marketing or teach marketing or study marketing. But for this specific instance, this is a simple way to start off and make sure that you're not going to be scattered in terms of creating your social media marketing and email marketing materials. So the 3 P's. Let's start with the first P. The first P is people. The second P is product. And then the third P is package. Now, what does people mean? People, it's basically your audience. You have to make sure that when you're creating a project, when you're creating a content or an output, there's a target audience in mind. There's this model of a person that you're talking to. There's a segmented part of your database that you want to specifically talk to because you can't talk to everyone using just one content. You can't talk to everyone using just one strategy. So knowing the person, knowing the people, or knowing the audience, targeting them is something that's very important when you're doing marketing because you can't there's no one marketing that works for all. So when you try to focus your energy on a specific generation, for example, or a specific demographic, that works better for them. For example, here in Cultivate Twins, we target specific audience per quarter. If you notice, there's this one quarter in Cultivate Twins when we refined TC 101 and then created TC 201. And then there are so many webinars we hosted for admin and TCs. So that quarter, we focused on admin people or the admin role. That helped us target people and get more new network or new faces to attend our webinars because when we did the ads, we just focused on admin. And then we focused on people who are near David because that's gonna be the target audience that we're aiming for. And then we got new people who have never met David and they bought the course. So for a specific quarter, we just focused on admin. And then the next quarter, we focused our content on agent content. We created courses for agents. There are so many lessons for agents. We created YouTube videos. We invited good agents and asked them about their best practices. And then that way, we gathered more agents that quarter than admin. And then this quarter, the previous quarter, we gathered more admin than agents. Targeting a specific role or targeting a specific number of people who are in one type or in one group will help you focus your materials. You have to know your audience. When you create your content, know who you want to capture, who you want to engage with. You can't engage with everybody with just one content, as I mentioned previously. And then the next one is the product. So whenever you're creating your content, make sure that you know your product. So that's like, we should have like a funnel. Your brand, you already know what your brand is. You already know what your services are, what you offer to people, what your products are. And then when you try to funnel it down, Now that you know the target audience that you're aiming for, you can funnel it down. And what are the specific products that fit your audience when it's like agents? So, for example, if our audience are agents, then the courses for agents, which will be shift or will have lessons about getting referrals or converting your leads or doing your marketing. So that helps us focus on what type of marketing content that we need to create. And then afterwards, you can funnel it down further and make posts about what are your best practices as agents. You can put infographics about percentages on the market and stuff like that. So when you know who you want to target for a specific time, you'll know what to focus your energy on and then create the output more effectively and efficiently. So I hope that helps. And there's one more thing that you need to understand about your product. Your product should be something that you're proud of. Your product should be something that you believe in. And when you have that kind of confidence, it makes it easier to create the materials that you're going to use to promote whatever your product is. And in the person, in the people, you should know them personally. So it's very important that you engage with them. When you do crowdsourcing, you get to know the people you're serving. When you host events, you get to talk to them. It's very hard to understand how the audience thinks if you don't talk to them. So engagement is also very much good strategy to know your audience, to know the people. So that's key to knowing the people. And then in the product, the key is understanding your brand, believing in your product and your service. That's going to make you confident when you create your content. So that leads us to the last P, which is the packaging. Whenever you package something, you have to make sure that it fits the people and it fits the product. For example, I'll just go general here, okay? When we're if the product is something sort of a gadget and you're trying to target younger people, the best way to do that would be social media. Not all young people, especially if they're studying, uses email all the time. They're more prone to checking it out in social media. So of course, we're gonna put social media posts to promote that specific gadget that's just new. If that's a part of your product. So if it's in Cultivate Wins, we have a product called the Digital Planner, and we marketed it mostly using email because we want the digital planner to be used by professionals who need planners and journals to guide their day-to-day life and make sure that they can take notes of what's happening in their life and evaluate and reflect on a day-to-day basis. So we targeted professionals as the people, and then the product itself was a digital planner and journal, and then the packaging we mostly used it in we mostly produced marketing via email. So newsletters, personal emails, group emails. And then of course, we also did videos and then sent it via email because most of the professionals open their emails first thing in the morning and then before they sleep, they check their email as well. I'm not saying that you should only market it in one place. I'm just saying you can focus your packaging in one thing and then repurpose it for other things. So whenever when we created that newsletter for the digital planner, of course we posted it in our Facebook group. Of course we posted it in our Facebook page and then we shared it on our personal profile. But the first thing that we did was send it out via email because that's the more effective way to do it. And then we just repurposed the content and then shared it in other platforms. So that's how it works. People, product, and packaging. I hope the 3 Ps will help you start off on a good path when you create your marketing content. Have a good day.